Hey, listeners, welcome back. I fancy meeting you here. I thought I'd be traveling this road alone all this time. But you look so tired. You must have been traveling for so long. Please, rest up, sit by my fire. Let me pour you something to drink, maybe something to eat, and I'll weave you another tale to pass the time.
Last time Swordcast Adventures, Loud Scout leave Lady Cassandra's house with others in fancy box pulled by horses. So far everyone nice to Loud Scout, but Loud Scout's still not sure to trust. Once we get to forest, Glowing Man say place we look for Cassandra treasure is down road, but first Grimtuck talk with squirrels. It sound real funny. We make way down road and after time we hear a noise. All hide, but somehow they still find us. Bad people look like Grimtuck and fall from trees, but none nice like Grimtuck. They surprise and hurt Grimtuck, so we make sure they don't do again. But during fight, Loud Scout hurt Mr. Elduin. Loud Scout not mean to, and feel real bad about making hurt Mr. Elduin, so Loud Scout give him feel better potion from pack. It remind that Loud Scout always hurt someone somehow. Loud Scout never stop hurting. But Loud Scout don't want think about hurt. There's job to do. This make Loud Scout want drink, so Loud Scout find comfy rock to sit with, and fix hurt thoughts while all rest.
After that long, hard fought battle,
Long and hard.
long, hard, and fought well, you all take a moment and sit down and recuperate, not expecting exactly what you found in front of you, I would say. You all bandage your wounds. Excuse me?
Grimtuck's he doesn't actually need to bandage. What he does is sits down just on the ground crosses legs and meditates for a moment, and the jewel that's on his belt, the red jewel, just starts to glow slightly, and over the course of the next few hours, his wounds all just repair themselves, just pull back inside. So like the blood obviously stays there, but it's a slow process, and everything, you could tell that there was a wound there, but you could tell that there's probably not going to be a scar there.
Okay.
Once Loud Scout had handed the healing potion to Elduin, he kind of gives him this look like really remorseful, like I am very sorry, and he just like mouths the words sorry and turns around and goes back to the rock he was hiding behind and pulls out his bottle and drinks, being rather scared.
Elduin will look back into him and be like, it's okay, I understand, it was not intentional.
Loud Scout would then just nod and run over to the rock he was hiding behind and sit on the ground and start to drink out of his bottle.
You know what to do, sir. Loud Scout, sir.
Ooh, that's a 13.
Feeling a little more buzzy than you expect, but you're not fully drunk yet.
Got it.
Is anyone else doing anything before you continue down the path?
Just find the wounds.
Okay. So you continue down the path, going the way that this kind of hunting party or kind of watch came down. Noticing now that the footprints and the kind of tracks lead you forward more. And you now notice that there seems to be broken foliage now to either side of the trail, as though more of these wolves or more other beasts seem to run through it. Ahead of you, after going another good 2 hours or so deeper into the forest, you finally see a break in the trees, more so than just a simple trail. There seems to be a large, almost archway within the foliage, and it turns to be somewhat of a shining, sun-filled kind of opening, glade, so you could say, within the forest. What you do notice in front of you, there seems to be a wall of some kind. You can't really tell from where you are, but as you get closer, you do notice that there isn't a flat forest floor in front of your eyes. What do you all do?
It's like a raised earth or a man-made wall?
It's hard to tell. It looks more like earth than man-made. But you're still a little far off, so it's hard to pick out full detail.
Friend Elduin, could your bird possibly scout ahead?
Indeed. Elduin indicates to Teak that he should fly up and take a peek around.
Do you want to just fly forward out the little entryway, out the little effective archway into the clearing?
Don't see any obvious dangers around, do I?
Not from where you are, but you can't see too much.
Sure, but he should stay as high up as possible.
Okay.
So perception.
Mm-hmm.
Great.
Using your numbers though. Unless are you looking through his eyes, or are you just having him do his...
I'm just having Elduin do his thing.
Okay, Teak, do his thing.
That is a 21.
So Teak's swooping out under the trees and out into this glade, and as he kind of reels up, noticing that if he flew forward any farther, he'd hit that kind of rock wall. He flies up high into the sky. Being that you're not watching through his eyes, I'll have him come back. Or how far can your telepathy work?
I believe it's 100 feet.
Okay. He will be out of range of your telepathy, but he can scout ahead and let you know when he comes back.
Yeah, let's do that.
So he flies out of sight as you continue to move forward.
I'm going to stealthily move forward and perceive as well.
Is anyone stealth?
I'm gonna
Dog.
hold for a second and state Grimtuck looks to Rain and says, "Orcs fell from the sky and stabbed me in the back. Is there any chance you could climb a tree with those boots of yours and maybe see if we can avoid the same problem?"
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Grimtuck is obviously going to be stewing about getting caught in a war for quite a while.
Fair. So yeah, I'll go up a tree and I will, I guess, investigation while I'm up there, or perception to see if I see any other beings in the trees.
Tree beings.
So to go across, I'm going to have you roll an acrobatics check.
Okay.
But to go up it, it's like walking normally.
Right.
It's just to get across the trees, ninja style.
You got it. And that would be a 14.
Yeah, you do just fine. You're able to kind of skip ahead. You don't notice anything else kind of hovering in the trees at all as you're moving forward. But you continue to move along the trail in the tree.
Mm-hmm.
As you go, keep an eye above while they keep an eye below.
You got it.
Matolia stealths forward,
Okay?
following Elduin.
Same, I'll keep a reasonable distance. Grimtuck will keep a reasonable distance, knowing he's not the stealthiest person in the crew. And which is why Grimtuck hit 2-8 on his stealth check. That's why I hang back.
Grimtuck, though, you think you're stealthy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Elduin got a 17 with his Cloak of Elvenkind assisting.
Or would I have to roll perception to know that I'm being loud or not?
No, you just believe you're stealthy.
Okay.
Loud Scout got a 17 for his stealth.
Okay, Metolius?
9.
Yeah, Metolius and Grimtuck.
So, Grimtuck starts moving forward, kind of rustling through leaves, and hears Metolius kind of break a twig and goes, and just looks over at him with eyes as though, Metolius, we're trying to stealth.
Matolia shrugs and mouths sorry in Orcish.
Which looks gross. Like, the mouth movements you have to make to mouth that? Ooh.
It's very Klingon.
Really, a lot of hard consonants.
But Metolius moves forward,
Okay.
thinking that he is not very stealthy, but trying.
Doing your best.
But no,
As you gain onto the opening, Teak flies back down, now making connection again.
Mm-hmm.
He lets you know in his way of speaking to you, which I don't know is actually...
Telepathic.
Okay, so you hear him talk to you and go, Eldrin, in front of us sits a high plateau keep, I believe you all are searching for, sits atop it. A winding path rises up from the ground all the way up to the very top where the entryway sits. There seems to be 2 large, hulking figures, larger than those orcs, standing guard at the gate.
Thank you, Teak. Does the path look clear? Are there any traps or pitfalls?
It is more of kind of a roadway up, not something dangerous by itself.
Excellent. Anything else that we might want to know about in the surrounding countryside?
What did you get for perception?
21.
I did smell the scent of rot or something like that. I couldn't tell if it was from the unwashed monsters in the keep or from somewhere else around.
Interesting. Thank you, Pete. This is, of course, telepathic, so none of you know.
No.
But I'm going to relay that there are, to the party, what Teak has found, that there's a large path up to this structure that we're looking for. There are two large individuals near the entrance. That's where Teak found them?
Too large. He even put in multi-headed.
Multi-headed.
He would give you a bit of information.
Great. And that there's some a little funky smelling around.
Can Grimtruck roll a nature check to see if he knows what the hell those would be?
Metolius will also assist by
Okay.
thinking.
Roll advantage. Rotolius is assisting you
Oh,
in trying
nice.
to figure this out.
That's good.
So Metolius has some natural ability. Natural.
That would be... nice. Grimtruck hit to a 10.
It's hard to say. There are a few things of giant kin that may come with multiple heads. You're not able to pin down exactly what it is. You're not willing to make assumptions yet.
Okay. It's one of those tip of your tongue things where you're like, shit. Could be a lot of stuff. The rot is always concerning. For some reason that makes me think trolls, but...
What kind of rot? The rot of death, or the rot of plants, or the rot of garbage? Is it shit?
Teak, what do you more specifically?
What's Dick's intelligence, by the
Oof,
way?
not high. He has the intelligence of an owl.
Even as a fae?
Even as a fae, he just has the stats of the owl, basically.
Okay.
Which is
I would say more so with the telepathic...
2
Yeah,
would
with
be
the
his
telepathic
intelligence.
connection, you got some of that and assumed a lot of it.
Okay.
Not having the intelligence enough to form actual language.
Yeah.
What you did see, or what you did feel through the telepathic connection, is you got a basic grasp of what he saw. He saw a towering plateau. He saw a stone structure on top. He saw a curved road. And he saw two multi-headed creatures standing in front of the entry. The best you can grasp on the smell was more the smell of refuse than the smell of corpses.
It was a smell of trash or refuse. Notorious.
Interesting. Can I roll nature check on orcs?
Sure.
And their habits?
Sure.
And their
Absolutely.
trash habits?
The trash habit.
Trash habit.
Those trash habiting orcs.
Seven habits of highly
feel like
ineffective orcs.
Grimtuck could probably assist with this.
If you would like to co-assist back,
Yes.
go for it. Well, actually,
I
you guys.
rolled terribly.
I
Same.
know.
9.
Ah.
So what do we know about work garbage? No, I'm pretty sure it's like this. Go.
I assume they at least keep a garbage pit.
They must not. They might not care. As far as you can assume, they might not care about ancient ruins, and any refuse they have would probably just pile somewhere.
Somewhere close, but
Well,
Not-
probably not out the window.
not where they sleep. Right.
Okay.
Like a normal humanoid would act, of course.
So sorry to sidetrack the mission more, but if we are at a point where we are able to stop and have these analytical conversations, I think Grimtuck wants to try another round of speak to animals to see if any local wildlife wants.
Before you would do that, I would say roll a survival check to see if you find any animals.
Oh yeah, good call. Oh yeah, there we go. That's more like it. Grimtuck hits to 22. And I'm looking for animals on 4 legs, not wings necessarily.
No, I know. Oddly, around here, there doesn't seem to be a lot of movement in the wildlife. It becomes sparser and sparser as you've gotten in. Even with that, it's hard to tell if there are any around.
Shit. Gross forest, no animals. That means there's some bad shit happening.
You might see something far off, but not close enough to call out to without.
Yeah, not without hollering at it and
Yeah.
drawing to myself.
Well, I say we go up and challenge these two-headed creatures to gain entry to this place.
Agreed.
I agree we need to get closer. We should find out what they are before we engage them.
True. I feel like it's on the tip of my tongue.
I wanted to find a creature to see if maybe the woodland creatures know of another entrance into this ruin. But then again, I want to cut off something's head with two heads. So
That's literally twice the head cutting off potential, which I would assume you want to maximize.
the more the merrier.
I also feel that if we are going to just confront these creatures, that we should use the element of surprise while we have it.
If we can.
Good thinking.
Let's stick our heads out and see for ourselves and not rely on owls.
Small, useless birds. It's not useless.
Metolius respects an owl.
Yeah, Grimtalk does too.
I
But
wasn't speaking
It's
good.
not an intelligent creature.
I'm cool with the Grimtalk's cool with
Metolius
woodland
prefers to
creature.
see with his own eyes.
For sure. Especially because there's no animals around here to let me see with their eyes.
With his elf eyes.
Half elf
What do you?
eyes.
So,
That's my next bedroom scene. What do your half elf eyes see? I'll tell you.
okay, so you all move out from... I'm guessing you're not moving out, but you're keeping an eye ahead of you as you kind of get to the edge of the
We don't
forest.
Want to be seen, but yeah, we want to see out, but not be seen back
Mm-hmm.
as much as possible.
Eldwin's gonna look.
Go look.
He's gonna look.
Okay.
Use his eyeballs.
What your full elf eyes see?
For elf eyes. Basically.
Who is
Ooh,
poking a head out
good.
to see what's out there?
Well, my magical shield provides me a superior perception, so Napoleus will attempt.
Loud Scout is staying hidden.
Yeah, Grimtalk will hold back.
Everyone got a 23 for perception.
Rain?
Rain's also going to hold back because despite the fact that she's very sneaky, she also knows that she doesn't know much about these creatures anyway, so she's going to let the people who know things.
So, Elf Bros, what'd you get? Is that
22.
22?
23
Oh,
for
shit.
Eldwin.
So you see now this giant rise as though the earth shot up a pillar and was cut off at the top. On it sits what once could have been a beautiful castle, high above the trees, sitting out, able to look across the land, but now sits in disrepair. A few corners of it fallen in, seemingly towers crashing down into it. You can't see in from where you are, but you can definitely tell that there are a good few pieces missing. In front of the two gigantic double doors, two large hulking figures covered in white flesh and furs with what seems to be two heads kind of bulking at each other.
Looking at each other.
Well, more one says something and the other responds.
The heads are talking to each other.
Yes, and there are two of these similar creatures, each holding a kind of very crummy-looking metal axe and another kind of spiked club in one hand and one in the other.
So, do I recognize what these are?
Roll a nature check. I'll even give you advantage because you study a lot of things.
I do. 17.
These seem to be... you may not have ever met one, but you've read about things called ettins. Two-headed beasts that are effectively giant kin. They kind of are one of the lower rungs.
What is the size of an etna?
It's large.
Large.
Woo! Good.
Grapple
Grapple him.
Grabbing.
So grabby.
Wrestle.
Things you know is that you've read as though that one head, when it sleeps, the other head stays awake, so there is never a full moment of rest for both. Large hulking beasts Okay.
Not very intelligent, but certainly full of rage, piss, and vinegar.
Excellent. Big and angry.
Big and angry.
I will convey the knowledge that I have to the party.
Do you know
appear
if
to
they
be-
speak orc?
Do I know if they speak orc? Master?
I'd say you could assume they would from the
Company they keep.
exactly.
I would imagine they might speak orc. Given how large they are, they probably speak giant. Does anybody know giant?
That I do not.
No.
Yeah, it's
Only
worth a
orc.
shot.
Well, not only orc, but
Well,
So
we have options.
So the road continues, and it's like an open field.
So it's a wide open kind of glade, and in the center of this towering like mountain just above the tall tree, like stopping just above the tall trees with a winding kind of crisscross path up,
Gotcha.
a switchback. That'd be the
Yeah.
term. Yeah.
Does it look like we would be obviously spotted were we to cross this
In the
and
daylight,
start head up
probably.
the
Sounds
switchback?
like.
Walking straight up the road probably would be seen. You could assume, anyways.
And what's the distance? It might probably pretty far, but
It's quite far. I mean, it's probably about a good 50, 60 feet, maybe even a little more to get to just the base of this thing. It
Yeah.
fills most of this glade. You do notice that around the edges of the actual mountainside, there seems to be trees and bushes kind of covering, kind of giving like a second ring around the center.
And these things are in an elevated position, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There is a distinct possibility that if you were to walk forward into this, they would probably see you.
I'm going to look at Rain and I said, the two of us, we might be able to get closer on account of being very stealthy.
Absolutely.
And I could just scale the side of the wall if need be instead of taking the main path.
We could, as a matter of a battle plan, Rain and I could perhaps sneak forward, hide amongst these bushes. I could lay down some covering fire and we could catch them in the open as they come to meet us.
sounds like a good plan.
Does sound like a solid plan.
Absolutely.
Did you convey the smell to us earlier?
I did, yeah, the refuse and trash.
Okay. Oh, right, we had a discussion. I will smell for it.
Okay.
19.
It hangs on the air. It definitely isn't coming from in front of you, but it's coming from oddly on your level.
Okay.
It's coming from somewhere close, so it doesn't seem to be coming from up in the keep.
It smells like garbage down here.
Indeed.
I should have taken some of that orc clothing. Disguise myself as one of those refuse.
Perhaps there's...
What would you say the distance from the, farthest from the castle bush to the ends is?
About 300-400 feet up.
300-400 feet up. Okay,
Mhm.
cool. So is this a plan? Rain and I will draw them out into the open?
They're in an elevated position. I feel that it may be advantageous for some of us to try to flank them or get behind them. We have someone who can climb very easily. If we
Very
were to
true.
pull them out ahead of us, if we could position somebody behind them as well, we could get them in a pincer attack.
I like it.
I'm comfortable attempting to climb the wall because I don't imagine Rain would want to be the only person behind them.
That would be good. Yes, absolutely.
Why don't you two scout ahead and come back and report and see if you find anything?
Agreed.
Which two are you speaking of?
I'm speaking to Eldwin and Rain, the most stealthy of our
Indeed.
party.
I am game for this.
Yes, absolutely.
Alright.
I'm fine with scouting.
So, I can also just send... Eldwin can also send Teak to just see what's around behind.
Sure.
So
Absolutely.
I'm gonna go do that. I'm just
Okay.
gonna say, Teak, fly away from me, go see what's behind the castle, and then come back.
Okay. So he does that. He kind of flies around, and you all kind of hear a guttural. Is Teak trying to be stealthy?
Yes.
Roll stealth.
Yes.
Before I make assumptions on things.
Too large.
Discreet owl.
That owl's out in the daytime.
They're day owls. What?
They just argue with each other
That
about
is
owls.
going to be a 15 to stealth. He was trying to stay.
I understand.
You hear one of the Ettins comment to the other in some really harsh language that doesn't sound Orcish, it sounds deeper and more gravelly. And the other responds in Orcish to its second head, I want bird. Pretty bird. And you hear the other two kind of comment, we're bird. But Teak flies.
Okay.
They're not running down to get it. They
I'm
just
amazed
see
that-
pretty bird.
I'm
One.
amazed these things are multilingual.
How can be?
One language per head.
Teak does spin around, and you hear once again, we're back, bird, as he kind of flies around and kind of I'm guessing Teak would make sure to duck into the forest before he gets to the entryway.
I mean, once he's within 100 feet of him, I have control and will make him not come right
Not
to us.
show your...
Not just go right to us. Yeah.
Bird has boner! No. Squishy elf. No,
Very squishy.
Also, only Metolius and Grimtuck understood any of that. But you get the sense from Teak that around the back seems to be more small trees, probably more foliage like you see in front of you. He also says that the smell that he smells is stronger.
Okay. Is there a way of getting up to the edge of the castle on the back?
He's like, flying?
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
You feel you get the sensation of flapping a wing as best in the response.
Fantastic. Alright, so there are more trees around the back. I feel as though we could sneak around the back, and those of us who are better at climbing could get up near the walls. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. So me and Grimtuck then?
No, you two would sneak around to figure it out, and then Grimtuck would kind of follow. Is that what you're talking?
I was thinking about flanking.
Yeah, you guys would scout ahead to see if there are any other, unseen perils, moats with alligators, bullshit like that, who knows. And
Fantastic.
from there, the idea would be that Rain as well as Grimtuck would attempt to scale the wall, and then I imagine with some signal that we let off that you guys can see, you would do something to provoke these things to move forward, wherein we would slip behind and do some damage.
I would prefer to initiate combat with these foes from quite a distance.
Exactly. So
Or if there's a way to sneak in, that's another thing
Yes.
to look for.
What we could do is I could take shots at them once you are in position, and they could come by your hiding location.
Friend Elduin, before we create tactics, let us scout the area.
Fair.
Okay. You guys should roll stealth and go running into the glade.
Alright.
You got it. That'll be a 17 for Rain.
That's a 10 for Eldwin. With advantage 10.
You're able to kind of follow behind Rain, keeping within her footprints, not stepping on anything. You notice that neither of the two giant beasts seem to pay much mind, as they're kind of like looking. They seem to be looking up as though looking for more bird. They have intelligence of 6. They're not smart creatures. So yeah, you dive into the foliage around the base of the plateau.
Alright, what will we find?
Not a sheer, but certainly not so easily scalable rock face in front of you. But I mean, you're in just tall, like medium-sized trees right now.
Okay.
So you're covered from above, but there's not much you see as you're just a little ways off from the kind of switchback entrance.
Okay. So we're at the base.
And you're effectively still facing back towards the other party.
Gotcha. Okay. I would like to maneuver my way around the side to see the other side of the castle.
Okay. So both of you, if you're running around, roll perception for me.
You got it. That would be a 6 for Rain.
That would be a 12 for Eldwin.
As you move around the side, you catch a whiff of now that kind of sour, garbage-esque smell of old food and rotten bits. You can't exactly tell where it's coming from.
But it's getting stronger as we're moving.
It is getting
towards the back of
stronger.
the castle. Okay.
And what you notice in the back seems to be more like a sheer cliff as well. Handholds maybe,
Yeah.
but you're definitely not. There's not much similar to Cassandra's castle. It seems to fit the platform that it sits on pretty well. So it would be a sheer climb up the walls of the castle too, if you're trying to get behind the ends, unless you're climbing up the side to the like kind of landing they're standing on.
Okay. So it's kind of sounding like I might be the only one to be able to just like.
I mean, he effectively could climb up onto the platform if the items weren't there, he could get behind them.
Okay.
But with them there, you probably would have a bit of a hard time.
Okay.
Rain, I feel like I cannot climb this and be supremely stealthy at the same time.
I think that'll be a problem.
Can you?
Yes, absolutely.
Do you mind sneaking around some more?
Yes, I can do that.
I will wait here for you then.
Yeah, I mean, I'll go up at this point.
Okay.
And see what I can see from a higher standpoint.
So as you kind of get higher up, you get closer. Again, you're able to just walk flatly up. You don't notice any movement coming from below you specifically, but as you break the tree line just below where the stone masonry starts, you can see across this forest, and it's huge.
Okay.
You notice that probably about maybe 40 miles to the west, the trees break into something of a set of plains, and you can't really see farther beyond that. A few bits of mountains scattered around. To the south, there seems to be a cut of coastline, similar to where you were, probably. Okay. You can't really see Cassandra's castle from here, but you're able to see other parts of the land.
Okay.
And then what you notice as you kind of get higher up, you notice that in the back part of this castle, there is a portion that has kind of sunk in, as though the ceiling has caved in.
On the castle itself?
On the top of the castle. Like, as you're kind of getting to a point where you can look up, you notice more that there is a piece of the roof that seems to be missing.
Okay. How far away is that from me now?
A couple more hundred. I mean, it's not super far. It's a couple 100 feet more. The castle's pretty tall.
Can I get closer to that and see if that could be an entryway for me to sneak into?
You probably could sneak into that. It would definitely be a feat for everyone
else, yeah.
Because, I mean, unless you all had 50 feet of rope.
Right.
Which you probably do.
Like combined.
But it wouldn't make
ridiculous.
it more than 3/4 of the way down the mountain at the top.
Okay.
So you could get in there with your boots, and maybe Grimtuck could climb there. But if you all tried to make it, there's a distinct possibility of danger.
Okay, got it. Alright, I guess at that point I'll head back down then.
Okay. So you get back down. I mean, there's nothing on this side, so you just make it back down to Elduin.
Okay. It seems the top of the castle is caved in. It would be a way for me to sneak in, but I don't think we could get anyone else up there. Other than that, it's just the sheer rock face in the back of the castle. It's all back here.
Okay. Well then, shall we try to draw the Ettins out, or do you want to engage them up close?
I don't know. I guess try to draw them out.
Yes, you could perhaps hide in behind some foliage or a bush or tree and slash them as they come by.
Yeah, absolutely. I also have a crossbow I can use as well.
Indeed, good thought. Well, shall we return and discuss amongst the others?
Yes, absolutely.
We do that.
Roll one more stealth check really quick.
You got it. That would be a 28.
19.
You both make it back just fine. You all kind of come back into under the trees, finding your other party members there.
Cool. And we relay all
Certainly.
the information we just got
Yep.
as much as we could.
Question.
Yes.
What was the source of the smell, the garbage? Did they have a garbage chute? Were they throwing it out a window?
It got stronger back there, but we didn't see anything in particular. We didn't see a source.
Can we go back and check? Because that might be a point of entry.
We should all go. If there's enough covering. Which
Agreed.
It sounds like there is.
There's certainly, you'll have to all... Yeah, if you all go. If you'd like. I'm not going to say nothing.
I'm down to try to stealth across.
That would be the one factor.
Because that's the thing. It's these creatures wouldn't be the type to pick up their refuse, walk it around to the back, and throw it away. They would need to have something convenient. So either they're throwing it off the top, out of a window, or they're dropping it through some type of
True.
Elduin has got a super skeptical look on his face.
Metolius stealth across the way. With an 11. Bye!
Okay.
Enough talk. Time for
Metolius
action.
goes forward, starts to stealth across.
Metolius stealths in.
Oh,
Fuck
God.
it, if he's going, I'm backing him up.
Elduin pulls out his bow, but he follows and stealths.
Yep.
Just hit you a 19 on stealth. Holy shit.
Damn, son.
I think I did.
He
I
learned
picked it
from
up.
the
and
ninja
moved
orc.
it
I was
over.
about to say.
Ninjork!
Loudscout?
That
Well, I was just making sure you were rolling stealth too.
17. for
17.
Elduin.
13.
Rain.
So that'll be a 27 this time.
So just let you keep it. So as you all start to one after another kind of run back across the clearing, you all hear a guttural utterance coming from above you, and then the second voice screams out, "Intruders!" And you hear thundering footsteps coming down the hill.
Are there any rocks nearby? Big boulders?
There
or
are
anything?
trees. Effectively, if you get through the small kind of husk of trees around the sheer face of the rocks, you can lean up against the rocks in the trees, giving you rock advantage.
Rock advantage. Question. So these things are coming towards us, and they're coming down towards us some type of path, correct?
Yes.
What is the size of this path? Like how much is it? 10 feet? 20 feet?
It seems to be about 15 or 20 feet wide each switchback. But they seem to be like stomp, 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 jump, stomp, 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 jump, as they're trying to vault themselves down this hill towards the things they saw running past
But
their
does it come out into like a ramp leading
So
up?
it is
Or
a
is it just a
plateau
switchback the whole time?
in front of the giant doorway, which is probably about 40 feet wide, and then it's just switchback, switchback, switchback.
Okay, so there's no way really to tell, like, because if there was a ramp leading down to us, we would know that that's the path they would be coming on this way since they're jumping down. It's
You
not-
see the effective entrance to this crisscross, like, path. So you
Okay.
know that either they're coming straight down for you, and that's why you keep hearing them jump, or you know that they're going to probably come out this front path.
So that front path, how far away is
Elduin
that?
is. I wouldn't. I'm at this point, like, while they're running out, I'm gonna start taking shots at them.
Oh, hold on. How far away are
From
we
you?
from that entry?
From the
How far are we from that entry point? Is that
probably about 20, 30 feet at most, like not very far.
okay?
The entryway into this glade is just kind of right across from the entry point up.
Okay. Grimtuck would like to move forward and across that area, throw a nice little scattering of ball bearings.
I like it.
Metolius continues into the woods.
And then back away.
The
From-
small glade, like woods around the. Okay,
Woods around the plateau that comes out.
And
not caring about hearing them.
he would be moved back about 10 feet from that once he's scattered them.
Yeah. Are you just gonna stand there waiting for him?
With my great axe in hand.
If you're standing, I thought you were gonna throw the ball bearings and like peace out.
No.
Oh,
They
if you're
hit
waiting, then I'm going to do that.
I do that.
I do that. I stand next to my barbarian friend.
So, as these Ettins finally make it down, it takes them probably about 3 minutes to bound down this
Imagine they
path.
get arrows.
So
You had, I would
Elduin
say,
has a 600-foot range.
I would say you get 3 shots before they make it down to the main.
Great. So Elduin is going to pull out his bow, and he's going to take these steady aim shots in just dramatic archer pose.
Sure.
Because this is past, so like I'm going to say at least the first 2 are probably past my normal range, over 120 feet.
Yes.
All right, so the first 2 are at disadvantage. Then. So that is going to be a 19. Oh, yeah, 19 to hit for the first one.
19 hits.
Then I
I don't get to see your buddy. Just gonna hide him behind the screen.
That will be 12 piercing damage from the first
Thank
one.
you.
And then the second one is going to
12.
be a disadvantage.
Are you shooting at the same one?
Yes.
Okay.
Whatever one's first.
Sure.
And then that one is going to be an 18 to hit.
Okay.
Hits.
These are big dumb brutes.
Ah,
They're pretty
excellent.
easy to hit.
Walking piles of hit points, you say?
These are, I forgot to say, these are magical arrows. And that is going to be a 9 points of damage.
Okay.
Magical damage. And then the third one is within normal range, within 120 feet. So that will not be your disadvantage. That is a 16 to hit.
Hits.
That is 11 points of damage.
Okay. Whew. So 3, as you keep hearing thump thump whoop, thump thump whoop, as these creatures are bounding down this, bounding down this switchback. At each level, another and and
Loudly.
On that last one, once they're within 120 feet, can I try to get a crossbow bolt into? Would it be considered a surprise round?
They know you're
do
there.
They know we're there.
Yeah,
so
they
it
know
doesn't
you're
matter.
there.
Okay, cool.
They saw it.
Yeah, they saw all of you.
Gotcha. So technically, with my
Even
assassinate
right.
ability, I have advantage on attack rolls against creatures who haven't taken a turn yet. Would that count
Sure.
here? Okay. So since I have advantage, does that mean I get my sneak attack damage as well?
Yep.
Excellent.
Rules is rules.
Rules is rules, guys.
After you make this attack, I would say everybody roll initiative.
Got it. Okay.
Can I throw a javelin?
Sure.
Oh, ditto.
It's at disadvantage. We'll throw one time at disadvantage.
Okay.
Alright.
Same.
Because the short range is 30 feet.
You're still hiding in the trees, right?
Yeah, everybody's like, so as everybody's like
Everybody
throwing these
rolls
attacks
back
and shooting things, Loud Scout's like hiding behind a tree and taking like a furious sip out of his bottle of brandy as he gets ready for battle.
You know to roll, Loud Scout.
That's what we're waiting. I say, Loud Scout, come out here.
That's a 12.
They're like sitting ducks.
The world starts to become wobbly to you, Loud Scout.
Wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
Got that.
Alright, we roll for our javelins.
Okay, you're throwing. Yes.
Hey, wait, we're doing that with disadvantage?
Yeah,
Yes.
since it's further than the 30 feet, probably.
Oh,
It
I
Rolls
got,
coin says I hit more true than you.
Oh.
I got
That
a
is
17
a
on my
bet.
arrow.
17 hits. Are you all just throwing it at the very first one coming down?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
The one
I'd
in front.
say I'd be aiming all at the same one, personally.
Grimtuck hits to 13.
13 hits.
Let's turn him into a
17.
pincushion.
Oh! Metolius hits better. But you both hit.
Highly adult.
That's right.
Shit.
11 piercing damage for mine.
Ooh.
Javelin does a measly 6 piercing damage.
9 piercing damage.
Yours definitely hit more true.
Damn, guys. Okay. As... Oh, man. The worst part about this is once they land down into the ball bearings, they both missed their acrobatics check. And their feet swing out from under them, landing flat on their backs, prone in front of you, and they're writhing on the ground, one almost a pincushion of projectiles, the other one just like, what is going on?
Oh man, that is
We
amazing.
rush into attack.
Roll initiative. Grimtuck.
Grimtuck hits to 8.
You gotta stop rolling that bad of
I
initiative.
know,
too.
right?
I mean, it's actually good to let the barbarian go last, but that's besides the point. Eldwin, what's your initiative?
18.
Much better. Loud Scout.
Loud Scout got a 12.
The elf. Rain.
Rain got a 9.
Metolius.
3. 3.
Oh!
I rolled a natural 1.
Oh man.
Hey man,
It's the best time to roll
I was gonna
natural
say,
Yeah,
one.
totally.
get that.
I have initiative by shield. I have advantage. Oh, I totally forgot. Sorry. I rolled a 2. A 4.
Oh god.
Yes.
Well, so much
Thank
for
God
getting
for this
advantage on
magic
them being
shield.
prone.
Oh, that's great.
That makes it As these two Ettins lie prone in front of you, Elduin, it is your turn.
All right.
That's amazing.
Elduin is going to take aim at the one that is not hurt.
Okay.
And attack it. It is
prone.
It is prone means you get a disadvantage on ranged attacks.
Disadvantage on range.
As they are on the ground.
Alright.
And it doesn't matter that much. Though,
That is 12 to hit.
surprisingly, that hits.
Alright, so this is a magic arrow that is going to... I'm going to cast a banishing arrow.
Okay.
So it's going to do damage, and it needs to make a charisma saving throw.
I mean,
Sure, these are so
guys.
suave.
Guys.
These are the smooth talkingest things ever.
Do they make it to make 2 since there's 2 of them?
No. The problem is, head 1 may be suave as fuck, the one that speaks in giant. Head 2 is terrible because he got a 7.
That's not going to beat the 14
What?
spell save.
No,
DC. I
fuck.
know, it's crazy. So this creature is banished to the Feywild until the end of its next turn.
Okay, how long?
It's just until the end of its next turn.
I know. Wait, but how much damage? Sorry, that's
so
what I
the
meant.
damage that is dealt is...
Oh my
Who
god.
cares about
Oops,
damage?
wait, that's the
We're
wrong
flipping
guy.
about it.
Yeah, right.
He'll come back. Don't worry
Oh,
about
gosh,
He will
yes.
come back. But not until the
12
next turn.
points of magical damage.
it. Well, okay, but end of his next turn would be the turn coming up.
The end of... So he basically misses one turn.
Go. Thank
So
you.
he gets his... So
Yeah.
it's the end of his next
Fucking
turn.
Uno'd him.
Yeah.
Uno.
Turn.
Skip. Turn. Reverse.
Motherfucker's about
Draw
to drop
4.
Yeah. So he blinks out.
How
and
many
then,
How much damage?
12.
He said
Perfect.
12,
When he comes back, does he have to make another saving throw to not fall in the ball bearings again?
Oh my
He
god.
comes... He just reappears.
So I imagine he stands up on his off turn, stops being prone in the Feywild, comes back and falls on the fucking ball bearings again.
But knowing that they're there, actually, well, no, because they flew.
Only if he moves.
They flew at the ball bearings. Did you throw it in the grass or on the actual path?
On the actual path, because the grass wouldn't do anything. That would...
Well, yeah, they flew off the path.
Oh
so,
shit! So they skidded. Okay.
Yeah, they just went. They did a Looney Tunes like whoop, boom.
Okay.
So, Ettin 1, the pincushion, is going to stand up and roar at you. You standing now in front of him. You close aside.
Bring it, fucker.
Like 5 feet
Yeah.
back to the right. Maybe.
Both heads looking at either of you. The first one is going to raise that gross battle axe up and swing at you, Grimtuck.
I
So
would
gross.
swing at me too.
Gross as battle.
Swings at you for a natural 1.
Tell me he falls on more ball bearings.
What he does do is, as he swings the first swing with his axe, you see his back foot kind of catch something, and as he comes in for a swing with his second, it misses terribly as the Morning Star just goes flying helplessly over your head, whipping into the woods.
Oh, nice.
He dropped it?
Yeah, the first one swung down, hit into the ground. He kind of falls off balance and throws his Morning Star into the woods.
What a dick.
Smashy! The second Ettin is looking around very confused at the very pretty things around him as a few beautiful tree-looking women start to walk up to him, and you hear him go, "Pretty, but where?" And the other head goes, "Don't matter, pretty." Loudscout, it's your turn.
Alright.
Back into existence,
At the end of his next, or yeah,
Yeah.
I guess at this
So he
moment.
missed that turn and then he comes back.
So he blows back into his system and goes, "Not pretty." Loud Scout.
So how far away are they from us?
You sneaking up against rocks probably about 40 feet from the Ettins. From everyone
40
else,
feet.
40 feet. Ettin 1 is about 5 feet away from Grimtuck, 10 feet away from Metolius. Ettin 2 now in about 10 feet from Grimtuck, 15 from Metolius, while Elduin is still off rein. I don't think you left the woods yet.
No, I don't.
You ran across into the small ring of trees around the plateau, but you didn't leave the actual that to come out again.
Right.
Cool.
Right.
So the closest people are Grimtuck and Metolius, and they are not very far.
All right. Well, I'm just going to pull my diamond out and cast Chromatic Orb.
Cool.
I'm gonna go with fire.
Which one are you aiming at?
It'll be the one that's on the ground with his axe stuck in the ground.
Okay. So the one that's been pincushions.
Yes.
Excellent.
So that
Continuing the assault.
is 18 to hit.
18 hits.
Sweet.
Do it. Roll that beautiful beam footage.
Nope.
One of these days.
12 damage.
I know. 12 damage?
Yep.
As you throw... Are you doing fire again?
Yes.
Okay. As you... as that giant flaming orb flies from your diamond, once again spinning around and hitting into the creature, all the projectiles, the wooden shafts, start to glow a light as he's enwrapped in flames for a moment. And one head screams while the other head just kind of like grunts and pain. That makes it Rain's turn. Unless, Loud Scout, you're moving at all.
Are there... So I'm essentially behind them, right?
Yeah, you're more to the side.
Is there anything that I can like try and get closer to them that I can hide
still
behind?
Well, you can still just sneak against the wall. You're still within foliage.
Okay.
You didn't like...
So then I'm gonna try and get as close to them as I can while still being like hidden.
Roll stealth check.
Okay. 21.
Okay. You believe you're quite stealthy. That makes it Rain's turn.
Okay. How far away from the ends am I at this point?
You two are about 40 feet, give or take.
Okay.
If you stayed near to Loud Scout when you ran out there, as you both made it into the, foliage around the mountain.
Yeah, totally. Okay, I guess I'll probably just crossbow bolt it then.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. Which one has somebody within 5 feet?
The first one, the pincushion.
one that now has been
Just the
chromatic
pincushion
orb.
one? Okay. Well then, I
The one
will
that we've
make
been
him
DPSing
even
the
more of a
crap out
pincushion. And I will, yeah.
Like good party members should do.
That would be a 23.
23 hits.
Excellent.
Almost twice over.
Right in the head and eye.
No swearing on this
And
podcast.
with my attack damage,
Rude.
we are looking at 12, 13, 14, 15, 18 piercing damage.
So as your bolt flies from between the trees out and staring down Grimtuck, you see the bolt fly, Grimtuck, and pierces both heads at the same time as this large hulking creature just like his face goes slack, and you see his tongue kind of lull out of his mouth, and his whole body just falls forward.
Nice.
Grimtuck just lets out a ha-ha!
Yeah.
He's super excited to have gotten to see that. Like, up close and personal.
For reals. Not for play.
Not for play. I guess at that point I would move up closer for sure, but probably only like 20 feet.
Okay.
And chill there till my next turn.
Word. Grimtuck.
Well,
One prey is down.
Yep, the other one is going to get axed.
Excellent question. Go for it.
Axe the fuck out of these.
I mean, they're not very intelligent, so they might not have a good answer.
So, one of them hits to 16, the other one hits to 19.
So, both of them hit.
Nice. That would be 6 plus 5 is 11, and then 7. So, 11 plus 7, I got that 18.
Hey, 18 deals a hearty blow to this big hulking creature. Confused by what he saw and now in pain. He is angry as fuck. Are you doing anything else?
I took 2 swings. I don't know if there's really anything else I can do.
Okay.
Gonna go ahead and just hold on.
Okay.
That. I'm fighting a 2-headed monster.
Sweet. Joyce, it's your turn.
I'm gonna,
And you're not raging. Go. Just make
I'm
sure.
gonna run around the back of this creature that Grimtuck just took a hearty chunk out, and
2 of
I'm
them.
going to also attack.
Okay. That gives you advantage.
Oh.
Flanking.
So 23. I'm just gonna jam my longsword like through the back of his thigh.
Oh, God. Okay. Stopping that man from getting up very easy.
10 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
And then I will pull that out and go for the Achilles tendon.
Ah.
And
Ah. The worst, sir.
I am the worst. 18.
18 hits. The Achilles tendon.
Yeah. Send a message. 11 points of slashing damage. The message is you cannot go anywhere.
You all hear a scream as from both heads as the blade sticks straight through his thigh into his calf, just missing the bone by a centimeter. The second, though, spins through the air. The second slice spins through the air, cutting the Achilles tendon, and you hear the sound of a bowstring twanging.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Which
Nice.
echoes through the glade. I gross myself out.
So you're on the side of him? You're not
He's behind him.
You better be careful. There's a bunch of ball bearings back there.
See how it goes.
Elduin,
Hope it doesn't fall on
what you doing?
Elduin is continuing to lay down this torrent of fire. He's going to make 2 more shots on this Etten.
Okay.
That would be a 21 and a 17.
Yep. The answer is yes.
Yes. So the first one is going to. So these are all magical. All of my shots. Are
All of
magical,
them.
unless I say otherwise.
Just assume it now.
9 points of magical piercing damage.
Okay.
The second one, I am going to trigger the vanishing arrow again.
Oh my god.
And it's gonna do right, 11 points of regular magical force damage, and he's blinked.
He made the charisma save.
He
with
made the save.
He,
He's not blinked. He got higher than 14.
he rolled
bothered with
he
that.
rolled an 18 or 19
Yeah, he made it.
and minus 1 he made the
good for
save.
him.
How much damage?
Yeah, good for this end.
Well, what did I say? I think it was 11.
11, yeah.
That's good.
So 20 more points of damage to him, and he looks at you and go, "What? Why?" No, that's not true. Pain. Pain. No. Can't
It's
we?
better than him just like appearing
Actually,
in the Feywild, like
I'm
screaming
gonna-
over his
On
wounds
my
for 6
action
seconds,
surge.
and then he like blinks back out.
Wait. So, you're popping your action surge.
I am.
Oh shit!
So that'll be 2 more attacks on 2
Okay.
more
Do it.
bow.
How often do you get to do that?
Once per short rest.
Yeah.
Nice.
17 and much higher than 17.
Both hit.
Great. And these are both magical, nothing special, no arrow, no arcane shots about them. This one will be a 12 points of damage, and that one will be a 9 points of damage. Another 21 points of damage.
What would you like to do?
I would like to send 1 through each head, just
Figured.
right between the eyes for each head.
Methodically and almost calculated, Elduin walks forward and just in tandem, just 1, 2. And you see Metolius and Grimtuck, you see just Grimtuck, you see the arrows just hit dead center and
He is
just come out the
equally
back.
excited about this kill as he was about the last
Metolius, roll a dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. I can avoid falling giant bodies.
On
11.
I'll say that's enough to get out of the way just in time.
Well, thanks, buddy.
Hey, it wasn't, it wasn't less than a 10.
That's true.
Uh,
It's a good DC.
yeah, you jump out of the way as this large beast,
Almost losing my footing,
almost
but catching myself.
being caught under the giant body, but a large thud and a cloud of dust kind of puffs up as this creature dies as well, leaving the glade much quieter again.
Still stinky though.
Oh yeah, terribly stinky. Well, actually, only stinky because the Ettins now. You don't really smell the other part.
Just the Ettins. But the Ettins, I assume, smell
Oh, they
awful.
don't smell great.
Yeah.
Metolius makes for the forest, or the trees still that we were initially going to anyway.
Should we roll
I
for
assume we're out of combat now?
Yeah, I'm
Yes.
trying to stealth away from this dead giant
everyone
situation.
is
Yeah, with
going
ball
to
bearings and arrows
search
everywhere.
the bodies for recoverable arrows.
Well, one of them got burned.
I shot.
Three of them got burned.
Yeah, and
I
then
shot 8 arrows. 5 would not be burned then.
Yes. I will say roll a survival check.
And our javelins got burned, I assume.
Yes.
8.
You found that 3 of them are good enough to take back. The other 2 caught in bone and kind of broke.
Okay.
As the magic does fade once it hits.
Yeah, there's no magic
So.
once it hits.
Okay, so you are all now standing, 2 dead Ettins and a winding path above you. Are you walking around?
Metolius makes for the trees that we were initially going for.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you are now...
I'm following Metolius.
I'd like to search the Ettin's body for a key.
They don't even have pockets.
Roll a investigation check really
Really
quick.
search their bodies, just period. But I'm looking for a key to that door up top. 19.
The small pouches they have seem to be more full of food, rations than anything else. There doesn't seem to be any keys on them.
Okay.
But yeah, so you all make it to the trees now. You find Loud Scout in there. Slightly tipping over every once in a while. You see him kind of shakily standing on his feet. Could be nerves, could be other things.
Could
I
be
mean,
the
we
fact
were
that
watching
he drinks
him.
all the time.
Yeah, he slams booze 24/7. I'm surprised that this is the first time. Metolius is surprised that this is the first time we've seen him drunk.
It's not the first time. This is the first time you've seen him in combat drunk. You guys were on a boat for like 2 weeks.
That, we got pretty pissed drunk
Yeah.
That's fair.
in the towers. You weren't there for that.
I'm gonna take
Small
a-
drunk.
No, I was not there for that.
He was
I'm
busy.
thinking,
He was busy.
A smell.
Smell.
A 12 smell.
Yeah.
You catch that whiff of sweet trash.
Sweet.
Oh,
Let's
that's
go,
sweet
Grimtuck
orc
is going
trash.
to further investigate the trash.
Okay. So yeah, everybody, as you're moving around, I'm guessing you're all moving around the column in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Roll an investigation check.
Investigation.
Jesus fucking Christ. Grimtuck got 3.
3.
An 8 for Rain.
Loud Scout got a 14.
Eldwin got an 18.
Okay.
Polius got a 17.
You two, elf boys, once again.
Elf bros.
Elf bros.
Jump in the air, kick your feet out, and high five.
Roll a performance check for me.
Okay. Gladly.
God damn it.
I have a +7.
Natural 1 for my performance.
Oh shit!
14.
So Metolius jumps up and is like ready for that solid high five, and Elduin jumps up and smacks him right in the face.
Roll damage.
Nah, I'll leave that one.
You're gonna have to work on that.
Sorry, buddy. I'll rehearse my high fives.
You should.
Okay, so you two, in your elf bro nature, find it's odd. There seems to be an indent in the right behind a bunch of like thick bushes. They seem to sink into the wall. It's hard to say exactly, but you notice something odd as you kind of peel back the bushes and trees. They seem to be sitting in this cutout cavern. Pretty tall, about 15 feet in height, maybe even 20 or 25, depending on where you are in it. But it seems to be rough hewn through the stone itself. But very well camouflaged in this foliage. And now, opening this hole more, the smell of garbage emanates out of it.
So it is a garbage dump from inside.
Indeed.
Well, it's a hole underneath a place that people live that smells like a lot of garbage. I think it's a pretty safe bet.
Yep. Well, seems we have two ways to go about it.
Could march in the front door, since we've already carved that one open, or we could take this approach. I'm not too fond of the idea of smelling like piles and piles of horse shit. If I'm being perfectly honest.
That's true, but
And I don't love that plan.
but they'll also be looking for us.
This
Now
is
that
also
we've
true.
killed their door guards.
We might have caused a bit of a commotion.
So, I am all for sneaking in. Being unpredictable
Yes, I guess they won't.
is the best way to keep your enemy off guard.
They won't anticipate us coming up through their privies, so yes.
Gross.
Right in the yarbles.
Alright, well let's go check out this garbage hole.
In the ghoulies, as they say.
So, as you push through, the smell becomes more and more intense.
What's like the dimensions of what we're walking through?
At highest, it's about 25 feet, give or take. At widest, it's probably about 30, 35 maybe.
Okay.
And it's kind of a jagged tunnel, as though eroded slowly or carved in from something.
Okay.
And you're kind of pushing through kind of this winding path. You make it to what seems to be another kind of, not arch, but entrance.
Mm-hmm.
At the far end,
Sorry, I was just going to say, like, when possible, Rain would much rather be walking on the walls or the ceiling rather than wading through garbage. So
you
if
don't
that's
actually,
possible-
you smell garbage.
Oh, but
You're not
we're actually
walking
wading
through,
something?
not yet.
Never mind, okay.
What you do find at the end of this carved tunnel is seemingly something blocking another effective doorway, and you notice on the edges it seems to be masonry on the other side of these this rough cave. It's hard to tell because whatever something is blocking in front of the door, like piles of possibly refuse, possibly rubble. It's hard to tell exactly what it is, but you see masonry around the edges, as though you may have made it underneath a part of the castle. It's hard to tell.
But there is a door, you said.
There's an opening, but
okay.
it's seemingly caved in or
Okay.
full up.
Can we see, those of us with dark vision? That
You all have dark vision,
Okay, yeah.
and what you can see is all this. Plus, you can see small openings, as though it's not like a doorway placed in front of this hole. It's more as though things have crumbled into it.
Let's go see if we can clear it.
Absolutely.
Grimtalk will move forward and attempt to clear.
Athletics check from anyone who wishes to clear this.
Elduin will do his part. We'll try to clear it.
Do your part.
I will do my part if it looks like they need help.
Grimtalk gets to a 10.
Natural 20 from Elduin.
Shit.
Non-natural. Athletics?
Yeah.
23.
So it takes you guys, you three, Elduin, Metolius, and Grimtuck. It takes a bit. It takes probably about 15 minutes to really pull out the large pieces of stone and rubble that have seemingly collected in front of this gateway. And once you pull it out, the smell is almost unbearable as it hits you in the face. But what you see in front of you is actually light. Your dark vision is no longer needed, as though light seems to be coming down from a hole in the ceiling. This room filled with rubble and a giant column, probably about 60 feet tall, seeming to have plunged through the ceiling above and fallen down to this floor. Around you sits rocks and rubble collected in this room, and on the walls almost seems to be carvings of some kind, almost like etchings, bits and pieces here and there, as though not tapestries, but fixtures placed along the wall.
Reliefs.
Something like that.
And a whole lot of garbage.
And a whole heckload of garbage on top of the kind of crumbled mess that was the ceiling.
Seems like we found our way in.
As you walk into the room, you notice to your left there seems to be a staircase, and to your right another entrance, another hallway.
The staircase leads up.
From what you can tell, but it's hard to see where you are.
Let's move to secure the hallway first before we start going up. Take care of everything on this floor.
Aye. keep it quiet as possible.
Everyone, roll a stealth.
I'm gonna do me a stealth.
24 for
Don't
me.
worry, I'm gonna do you a bamboozle.
Oh, I know.
Grimtuck hits to 15.
16 for Eldwin.
Natural 1
Oh no.
for Loud Scout.
Keen for Metolius.
So, everyone but Loud Scout makes it through this rubble and trash. Rain, you do notice all the trash along the ground and the gross, vile bits therein. So you decide to stand upon the relief and walk, like, almost parallel to the ground along the edge.
So cool.
Yes, please.
You three all make it towards the hallway, and as you look down, what seems to be almost like a crypt, large beds, and reflecting tables sit in the center. There seems to be holes dug into the wall every 5 feet, and each one sits what looks like a desiccated corpse, non-moving or anything like that. But as Loud Scout moves forward, he kind of slips and falls into a pile of this trash, making a loud squelching sound.
Oh, fun.
But that's not the only sound you hear.
Fuck, here we go.
A moment later, as Loud Scout kind of picks himself up and pulls off, you hear the sound of slithering coming from behind you, Loud Scout, as what looks like 2 long tendrils start to move out from inside the heap, and then 2 more sprout up on the other side, and then pushing themselves out of these heaps in the center, 2 gaping maws with long, almost tentacle-like tendrils with hooks on them peel themselves out of the trash heap and give a low guttural roar.
Oh my god!
Radios R2D2 to turn off the trash.
Yeah.
Hey all, it's Chris again. I just wanted to thank you for listening to our podcast. As always, we enjoy the hell out of making it for you and can't wait to get the next episode out to you. And we really hope you're enjoying it too. As usual, you can find us on Libsyn, Podbean, Podomatic, SoundCloud, iTunes, and Stitcher. And by this episode, we'll also be going up on Google Play Music, which we're really excited about, just to kind of get our feelers out to all the places to be found, just so anyone can listen to it. Check us out on our socials, where we regularly update as well as throw random streams of consciousness out on our Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at The Swordcast. Also soon on Twitch, which we're super excited about as well. As of the 11th of this month, we'll be getting our group Twitch streams. Come check us out, run through a bunch of arcade quarter eaters that are either D&D or adventure-based. We'll be streaming on Saturday, November 11th, starting at 7 p.m. and going on till about 10 or 11, depending. Come by and say hi at Swordcast Adventures. All one word, capital S, capital A. We are still new at this whole game, so reviews and shares really help us out. As I've been saying, please, please, please share us, like us, review us. We've actually just got a couple of our first ones which are super cool, and I just wanted to give a shout out to those people. On Facebook, not wanting to give out their full names, we have Brian, Kendra, and Cassie, all giving us glowing reviews. Thank you so much. Also, Cassie, your fan art is the best. We had our first fan art. It's great. If it hasn't been posted all over the place yet, don't worry, it will be. As of iTunes, we have both Freddie and Bill both giving us glowing 5 stars, and thank you so much, you two. I can't express how much it means to us. So yeah, please, share us with your friends. Rate, review us, do all that kind of stuff. It really helps us out. Also, I've heard a few of our listeners are unaware of our website, a place where we have a lot of great content for you to check out. Especially, we update the island map, which we always post and keep there. So if you always want to see kind of where we're at in the island or on the island, we always have that updated with labels of the noted areas they visited so far. We also have any drawn maps that I do for my crew, so they have a basic grasp of the floors or kind of floor plan of any of the locations they're in. I threw a few up there already, which are just simple drawings of like the castle, but also as we get into the keep, you will see I have all 3 floors drawn out, and I'll be posting that as we get into the next episode. Then we also have something we all did right before we started this, which was make character intros and bios for all the characters. We figured that doing it at the very start of the podcast might not be as listener friendly, so we made it and put it all together and then edited and put it on the website, so you can all check out kind of what your favorite character was doing prior to this little adventure onto this island of magic and mystery. Also, if we do any updated character portraits or any updates there, we'll always have it there, as well as links to all of our socials and the places you can listen to us. It's also where you can find our email if you want to talk to us. It's theswordcastadventures@gmail.com. We love hearing what you have to say, and we'll gladly respond to any questions you happen to have, as long as no spoilers are involved. And finally, thank you so much for listening up to this point. It means the world to us that you guys keep listening in and enjoying the podcast as much as you do. As of episode 4, we have an even better audio setup, which we're really excited to get out to you. And hopefully, all of our characters will be evenly heard, though our editor does his absolute darndest to make it as good as possible, which, gotta give him credit for, he really does. Anyways, for now, thank you again, and please, have a wonderful day. Don't worry, you'll hear from us soon.